Hi, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of your Frederish podcast. My name's Gary, and here I am once again with you guys. Tell me, how are you doing today? Well, as we all know, things aren't just doing great in the south of our country, unfortunately, but nevertheless, the weather here is still that sunny temperature, sunny day I mentioned in the past 2 weeks, or three weeks, I guess, right? When we were actually expecting for cooler days, we're having more, rather hot days, which is cool on one hand and scary on the other hand, because that presents some considerable climate changes, right? This is not the point of today's episode, but yeah. And this is unfortunately one of the reasons. Apparently, I'm not an expert and a meteorologist, but apparently it is hot in here. This unusual hot day in here for the very same reason that it's raining cats and dogs down there, in Rio Grande do Sul. So, yeah. That's it. That's what my comments on the weather. But let's do that. Despite of anything, just let me know again, how are you doing? Apart from everything that's going on, let me know if you have managed to, according to your possibilities, help our Gaúcho brothers with any assistance possible. There are so many ways to help, guys. Please don't let any frustration with the world or anything like that, or any maybe economic situation to prevent you from doing your part. Again, your part, only you and God knows how much can be done, right? So I'm not here to say you should do X or Y, this much or that much. That's not the point. Just to give you a shout out and like a heads up. Let's do our part according to our possibilities, as I said. Having said that, go grab your cup of water, a bottle of beer, soda, tea, a cup of tea, whatever it takes for you to relax, and come with me. So when we talk about education in Brazil, first of all, English, the education in English is basically level of studying, okay? It doesn't have just like we have in Portuguese. When you say educação in Portuguese, it doesn't have the same connotation, the same meaning that it has when we say educação in Portuguese. All right, so it's not about behavior. It's not about cultural aspects. No, that's not the point. Education means simple and purely level of studying. Okay, that's it. That's the point. Having put it aside, let me just start saying that, well, unfortunately, I repeat, unfortunately, the fact, not my opinion, that the level of education in Brazil, of Brazilian people, is really, really low compared to the rest of the world, right? This is visible, okay? I don't mean to diminish my people. I love my people. I've probably said that before. I'll say that 1,000 times. We're gonna get out of it. I believe I'm optimistic. If not 100, if not 20 years from now, 100 years from now, if not 100 years from now, 500 years from now, but we're going to get out of this ignorance misery. Let me just put it this way, okay? So this is a fact. This is not an opinion, okay? I'm not saying that all Brazilian people are dumb. Of course not. There's no such thing. There are geniuses, everywhere in the world. And here in Brazil, we got plenty of them, Probably, I didn't check this info, but probably the level of genius, like it's a kind of a vague concept, but like people with astonishing, outstanding, works and accomplishments in Brazil, probably it's like, if not above the average, it's certainly the average of the world, competing with other rich countries. I have this impression when I just make a quick reflection, meditation, and think about the geniality of Brazilian people. So this is not meant to say we are a dumb nation, dumb meaning uneducated nation. It means that we still have a significant part of our population, parcel of our population, really uneducated, really lacking basic knowledges, and yeah, this is whose fault is that? Is it their fault? Is that because they closed their eyes, they look the other way to education, if that makes any sense? Of course not, right? Of course, everyone, I personally believe that everyone's got their fair share of responsibility, but at the end of the day, it's a more of a collective historic responsibility / problem than individuals here and there. Okay. Well, so being more how can I say technical, that's not the right point, but like being more precise over my statement here about our education, I must say that apart from the empiric, from the visual, and from the testimonial, from the witnessing that we have around being Brazilians living in Brazil. Of course, I speak only for my region here in Paraná, but we have internet, we have social medias, we see people talking all over the place, all over the country, and we can get a view, and understand that this is a more or less the same everywhere. Of course, there's places with a level of poverty, an outstanding, unfortunate level of poverty. It's a different story, but like getting the average Brazilian, the lower median class, that's it. That's what I'm talking about, basically. Okay, not to point to the exceptions. Well, otherwise, I would just do, if we were to point the exceptions, I would just point the countless names of outstanding Brazilian people that make us all so very proud for their geniality and for the fact that we come from the same nation, we share the same patriotism. Why not? Anyways, so being more precise here, let us not forget the PISA test. Okay, that has been unfortunately politicized. If that even is a word, I don't know, but people have been throwing it up or in political discussions, and it has kind of spoiled the importance. Really sad to say that, but it has spoiled the importance of this examination. Okay, so if you don't know that, or if you just think that by bringing this to the table I'm making references to this or that politician, no, let me just clear it to you. It's a test, it's a international examination that is done every 3 years with 15-year-old students. Okay, and it tackles basically 3 points: mathematics, literature, and science. Yeah, no, reading, not literature, but reading, the level of understanding and everything, and then science. Right, these are the 3 main points, the 3 main and only points that are checked. Okay, and not to your surprise, not to my surprise, and unfortunately, of course, Brazil's always standing in a very low position. It's been lower. Okay, before we're kind of climbing up, but we're still under the average of the world. Okay, behind much smaller countries, much poorer countries, which shows us that, well, maybe this is not only a economic thing. It's an economical problem. This is not only because there are lots of poor people. There is something more, right? Well, one interesting thing I have found, again, not to my surprise, but yeah, old Gary talking here, old dad talking here, but is that the past PISA examinations have shown and presented a downgrade, so to say, a lowering in the whole planet, for the whole world. Okay, so our 15-year-olds, when I say our, I mean planet Earth, okay, our human 15-year-old colleagues, their level of knowledge and education has, according to this test, this examination, reduced, has lowered, has been going down. So yeah, this is kind of concern. Of course, there is the pandemic happened a few years ago, which, you know, forced many kids all around the world, but also here in Brazil, to stay home. And, you know, we all know that the classes were more like better than nothing during this period, right? But we cannot just, specialists are saying, and I totally believe that it makes much sense, that we cannot just blame the pandemic for this lowering in the level of of the results of the intelligence of our teenagers. There are more things, you know. Perhaps we won't have the time to, you know, be more specific here, but like, let us be honest, guys. Let us be upfront with ourselves, you know, and let me just be respectful towards your intelligence. To just point the white elephant in the room. Like, well, I'm 30. I'm about to be 35, and well, when I was 15, I didn't have much, you know, or many options of entertainment as the kids have today, you know. And I'm 35 and not 75, so I used to have a video game in my house. I used to, you know, walk out to the streets and play soccer with my friends in front of my house or somewhere else, be there chilling with the guys, you know. So we had entertainment, you know. There was TV. My parents were, you know, not so strict when it comes to, you know, TV, video games and stuff. There were rules, of course, but, you know, we were like cool with that. Maybe I won't be so prohibitive with my kids like they were with us, with me and my sister, but that's the scenario I'm painting to you, okay? It's not like we didn't have, but let's just bring my reality just described for you guys, quickly summarize here to the present day, okay? How many options the kids have with the internet? You know, they can listen to any song or any kind of music, or practically any kind of music they want to, you know. I recorded episodes making this contrast, so I'm not gonna say that all over again. You're welcome, guys. So yeah, but they have like games, dating apps, you know. We're talking about 15-year-olds. Let's not be hypocrites. Kids are kissing and making out, so let us just be honest here, guys. Okay, except my daughter, when she's 15, she will only start doing that at the age of 30. We have already agreed that. She's 5 today, so she shook my hand, and she's just gonna start seeing boys and kissing when she's 30. Okay. But anyways, guys, jokes apart, that's a reality. The kids have much more forms of entertainment, but of course they also have many more means to get to access information, okay, than we did have back in the days. But even with the hundreds of doors to education open in front of them, the doors to distraction, there are equally, or if I am to be frank with you guys, there are many more doors of entertainment and distraction in front of them, you know. So perhaps this is one of the main reasons. I would, if I had to guess, again, not an expert here, guys, just don't forget that, just chilling, just giving my opinion. Feel free to disagree, write down in the comment section below, but that's it, okay. I believe that the level of distraction the kids have today is one of the biggest causes to this lowering of intelligence, so to say, okay. All right, so just heading to the last part of this episode, to the conclusion of my speech here. What is the most concerning aspect of lack of education, right? Well, let me just start pulling something out of my chest, basically. We grew up hearing, I grew up hearing from intelligent people, from thinking people, from reflective, from people who like stop and thinking and analyzing and reflecting about the world situation. So we grew up listening to, we grew up hearing people saying, most people saying, well, we have so much corruption in our government because our people is equally or even more corrupt than the politicians, the corrupt politicians. Well, I'm not gonna say that there isn't any truth in this statement. There is, but I don't agree specifically when we say like our people is equally or more perverse / corrupt, than the corrupt and / perverse politicians out there. Okay, that's simply not true. Why am I saying that? I'm just saying that because, well, it will hurt me to say that, but I really wish I didn't have to. I really wish that I didn't think so, and I really cheer so I am wrong about it. This is me being wrong, basically. But our people is ignorant, okay? The average, we take the average, okay? And that's all it takes for corrupts to get to the power, okay? Not just all it takes, but when we say only corrupt people, okay? I'm not saying about perverse people, like, the dictators that, rule the world or part of it during the last century. No, okay, pervert, okay, requires more than ignorance. Maybe even like ignorance wouldn't even be the cause of it, but for corruption as we have today, okay, we don't have people getting killed by government. I'm not saying some of them wouldn't do that. Some of them would, but there's no room for it, today. If the government starts doing that, something really, really bad and perverse, they're deposed in the next day, basically. So, but we have a lot of politicians. Unfortunately, we have a lot of politicians, stealing money, from the public budget, all right, or any kind of resources being used for personal matters, for group specific and small groups of power, with projects of power, of course. And for this specific situation, all it takes is ignorant people, okay? And I don't want to bring it to A or B point of view about the world. This is not the thing, But I really believe that we all would like to see our money, the salary most people get, being able to purchase more, okay? And the other side of that equation is like, we all would like, no matter what is your political view, to pay less taxes. If you don't think like that, if you don't say, oh, I don't care about taxes, I'm sorry to be honest with you, but it is because you haven't thought that out. You haven't figured that out. You haven't stopped and made the calculations. Oh, I'm so poor, I don't even pay the taxes. No, you do. You see the price of things, you see things getting expensive, more and more expensive. Well, a considerable part of the prices embedded in them, in these products, is taxes, okay? So, yeah, don't say that, okay? Please. It's not a matter of a right or left, liberal or conservative. No, this is something, equally what I say about like our salary, our money, having more power. Let me put it in economic terms, I would say. And well, part of the reason, making a long story short and not diving into this universe of economics and politics, but like one of the reasons that part of our public resources, aka money from taxes, money we pay from direct or indirect taxes, going to the hands of people who are draining this money to any other any other uses, or even using it to recycle the sphere of power that has been installed and placed in our country, which is a normal, unfortunately, I believe a normal situation when we're talking about a ignorant nation, you know. So to close it off for good, the next time you hear people saying, hey, let's put in jail this person for sharing fake news or for saying this and that on the social medias, think about the educational level of that person, you know, and see if you could do better with the same level of education. That's my last word about it in this episode. It's a kind of a controversial topic, but I really hope I have managed to, you know, pass my message, to put across my message. And that's it for this episode. That's it for today, ladies and gents. Thank you so very much for your lovely company. I see you in the next episode. Bye bye.